If you're looking to get started reloading or possibly looking at making some upgrades, it's always nice to know some of the new product offerings that are coming out. Today, I'm going to do my best to cover some of the most interesting items that SHOT Show had to offer for the reloading community in 2022. We're going to be going company by company in no particular order, so let's get started with Forster. Forster, in addition to its current line of reloading equipment, has two new offerings for this year. The first offerings is simply an upgraded lock ring that has markings on it to help you get your dies adjusted just a little bit faster. The other item is a tool called the Forster neck tension gauge. It has 4 different dimensions for each caliber to help you quickly measure the neck tension you're getting during your sizing process. So if you don't want to fiddle with different pin gauges and have everything in one convenient tool, this may be something you're interested in. Moving on to Frankford Arsenal, they have the most new offerings to talk about. Some of these you may have heard about already, but some I know I was unaware of. They brought pretty much their whole line of products to talk about this year, all the way from their cleaning media, all the way up to their new X10 press. That new X10 press should be releasing the fall of this year for a manufacturer suggested retail price of $1,200. A pretty interesting price point for so many stations, if you're into that kind of thing. But the good news is they haven't forgot about the guys just looking for something basic. In addition to the M press that they currently offer, a new budget single stage is on the horizon, the F1 press. It has a manufacturer suggested retail price of $150. This press has linear bearing systems for the ram, an integrated LED light, and an interesting primer catch system that looks like a winner to me. Another feature that's not spelled out in the marketing material is that you may be able to remove the standard 7/8 14 thread adapter and add a quick change system from a different company if you wanted to go that route. One point, however, I am a little bit nervous about is how much slop is in this ram. Until people start getting and testing the production versions of this press, we'll not know if it's something to be concerned about, but it's certainly nice to see more options on that budget side of the house. In addition to the presses, it looks like they're adding a funnel kit to their lineup as well. This kit includes 8 different adapters to cover a pretty wide variety of caliber choices. In the tumbler arena, not sure when this was updated, but the Frankford Arsenal rotary tumbler on display now has a continuous setting if you're interested. Previous versions like mine only had a 3-hour timer, not the continuous setting. Another notable product they had on display was their benchtop powder measure that is currently available for pre-order on Amazon, right now at least for me, for $115. The press mount version is also listed for around $92. So to me anyway, it looks like Frankford Arsenal's been busy. Moving on down to the Lyman booth, they did bring most of their reloading product offerings to the show, but unfortunately, if you're not looking for something that's more geared towards the Mark 7 lineup for those huge round count per hour, the new offerings are pretty limited. Like, there aren't any. It appears from the outside anyway that their development has been more focused on the higher end lately, but if you are looking for one of those high-end systems, they have animated an automatic primer sorting system that can hopefully keep you from having to fill up your primer tubes if you're tired of that sort of thing. Moving on to the Hornady booth, they were at the show, and even though they had listed on their website a new funnel system under their reloading equipment, I don't think that they brought it to the show. They do have some new copper solids that they're offering, but as far as reloading tools, not much to cover in this arena. RCBS, however, is another story. Looking at the booth, they are clearly proud of the work they've been doing on their automated powder dispensers. They have 3 different models now in the lineup, and I guess they've decided I want to dispense my powder with my smartphone. Bluetooth and apps just seem to be all that more common on our reloading bench these days. The newest offering they have is in the middle of that product stack, the Chargemaster Supreme. This latest edition is still only good to plus or minus 0.1 grains of powder. However, it has a powder learn function that should drastically be able to speed up your automated dispensing, and according to the marketing materials, is the only one in the lineup so far to do so. They brought the whole lineup of tools as well, but no new presses this year, which frankly isn't a huge shocker because I believe they just released the Rebel press last year. For all you blue reloaders out there, a quick stop by the Dillon booth shows they have a new DA3000 for automatically running the RL1100 press as well as the CP2000. As far as anything else they're working on at the moment is filling orders. A common theme that several companies mentioned during the show was their struggle to get carbide components. So hopefully some of these shortages are going to be corrected and some of these back-ordered items will start being produced more rapidly for those of you that have been patiently waiting. Reloading isn't just about equipment, it's also about the components we need, so let's start with powder. A quick stop by Hodgkin's booths, yes, they had 2 this year. They clearly brought just as much powder to the show as we were able to find on the shelves of our favorite retailers. All joking aside, however, Alliant was at the show, and in addition to releasing RL 15.5, that was released sometime last year, they're looking to release TS11. This new TS powder mostly for varmint loads as well as some bench rest applications, so I'm sure there'll be a few folks looking to give it a try, assuming you can find it. Also on the powder side of things, I stopped by Vitavori's booth, and I'm sure many of you have heard about N55 being released. However, they're also adding N568 to the lineup. By the number, we can tell this is pointed to folks reloading for cartridges like 6.5 PRC, 300 PRC, 300 Win Mag, 338 Lapua Magnum, specifically for those heavier for caliber projectiles. I'm sure if you're into one of those calibers that this will be a powder to add to your list of options to try out, again, assuming you can find any. Moving on to cases, Lapua has some listings for new offerings, but if I'm not mistaken, these have already been released, at least for a little bit. In their new brass offerings, they have 6.5 PRC, 284 Winchester, 300 PRC, as well as 300 Win Mag. I picked up this 300 Win Mag last year. I haven't tried it out yet, but that's what they've got on their marketing materials for this year. Moving on to some more budget-friendly options, a visit to the Starline booth. The list of caliber options is the same as the 2021 offerings. I asked about any plans for caliber additions, and the response was that they're concentrating on supplying their current offerings. All of Starline's efforts are going into getting the brass you guys want into your hands until they can make some headway into catching up. They don't have any new offerings planned for 2022 at this time. Sad there's nothing new, but great to hear they're concentrating on keeping their current offerings rolling out the door. For brass, another interesting stop was the RCC brass booth. In case you're not familiar, they're makers of all kinds of custom brass. Interesting enough though, the rep mentioned starting to offer some more common calibers of brass like 223 and 308. I didn't ask about the costs, but in my opinion, more options in the market is always going to be a good thing. Maybe as more suppliers enter the market, availability will be improving across the board. As for new projectiles this year, Sierra is advertising 4 new options, 2 in 30 cal and 2 in 9. The one I'm personally most excited about was the 177 grain Sierra Match King. Assuming you can trust the ballistic coefficient numbers here, the increase is huge. The 175 SMK has been a very popular offering, but its G1 ballistic coefficient is listed at 0.505. The new 177 is being advertised at 0.545. So if this is just as easy to reload for, and the ballistic coefficient is that much better, this should be a very popular new product. Looking at Berger's new offerings, I'm not really sure how new some of these are. I was able to pick up some of these 153.5s last year, so maybe some of these will be news to you, maybe not. I am speculating here, but it's likely these manufacturers are simply trying to meet the demand of products that they are already offering. So 2022 might be a rough year if you're hoping for lots of new products. Like I alluded to before, Hornady has some new copper solids that are coming out, and they may be interesting to try if you need that style projectile to hunt with. I don't want to speculate on availability of these, so I'm going to leave that to you. Another couple of fun goodies to talk about. I had a quick stop at the Caldwell booth. Some of you may be familiar with the rumors of the Caldwell Velociradar that I believe started last year. They did mention that it's still in the works, probably not planning on seeing this in 2022. But let's hope to see some competition enter this market in 2023. I also had a quick stop by the LabRadar booth. In case you have one of these and you're not aware, a firmware update has been made available for it, along with 2 new apps being released for both iOS and Android. According to the folks at LabRadar, for folks like me that prefer Samsung devices, this should be the update we've been waiting for. I know I can't wait to give it a try the next time I'm on the range. Let me know in the comment section below what products you guys are most excited for, and maybe we'll get some in on the channel to do some testing. In the meantime, check out this playlist where I walk through some of the more basic equipment you'll need to start reloading, all the way up to some tools that just plain make your reloading process more enjoyable. I hope to see you come back next week, and until then, stay safe in small groups.